guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Cleopatre and I hope you're all doing well. If you are new to my channel or you're just randomly coming across this video, hi, I really hope you're going to enjoy what you're going to watch. I also hope that you subscribe and maybe check out a few more of my videos. I'll have them linked in the eye somewhere on the screen and you can go watch them if you'd like. But if you're a returning subscriber, hi again. It is so great to see you. I miss you so much and it's so great to have you back on this channel. So today's video is a video that is long overdue because my birthday was like 4 months ago, but it's still a video that I really wanted to film, and it's 18 things that I learned from being 18. I feel like in my 18 years of living, I've learned a lot about myself and I feel like I've grown a lot as a person, and I decided that I'd share some of these tips and pieces of advice and lessons that I've learned over my 18 years or for the past 18 years of my life. I really hope that this video is somewhat inspirational and helpful to you guys. So without further ado, let's just get started. Now these tips are not going to be in any particular order. I'm just going to be reading them off of my phone and kind of like explaining them to you guys. Some of them I will like touch a bit more on, but for some of them I won't. But you know, we're just gonna go with the flow of the video. So the first one is to not underestimate or ignore your own potential. I am so guilty of this, and it's still something that I'm really trying to work on still. It's something that I did realize, and I feel like especially like with my YouTube channel and just with school, I underestimate myself so much to the point where it prevents me from doing what I want to do. And I feel like now that I understand that I have so much more potential than I lead myself to believe, that has really helped me and given me the strength and ability to just motivate myself and to try to do my very best. Okay, the second piece of advice that I picked up and learned was sometimes in life your situation will keep repeating itself until you learn your lesson. And this is definitely something that I'm still dealing with, but I've seen like this has really resonated with me in the past 18 years of my life. And I say this because I am really bad at managing my time, and it's definitely something that I'm still working on. It has gotten slightly better in the past few months, if I'm gonna be honest with you, but it's like there's still so much more room for improvement. And I feel like the issue that I always had was I always said I never had enough time. The thing is, I always had enough time, it's just that I wasn't using my time wisely, and the time that I did have, I wasn't putting it into anything that was going to potentially benefit me in the future, or anything that was actually going to help me, or anything that was going to be productive or efficient towards me. And instead of taking the time that I had and putting it into doing schoolwork or studying a little harder for a test, or simply just filming a video or just planning out a video, I would also put that time into things like watching YouTube videos, or you know, watching a Netflix show, or just scrolling through Instagram. And I feel like when I was finally able to assess that issue, because I had been in that repetitive cycle of just not being able to be consistent on YouTube, it's still something that I'm still trying to work on. I was able to like step back and understand that the problem was honestly me to begin with, because of the way that I was managing my time and the fact that I wasn't putting my time into things that were going to benefit me. I feel like realizing this has really allowed me to steer my life in a completely different direction, and has allowed me to just be more efficient with my time and to put my time into things that are actually going to benefit me in the future. The next one is you will never always be motivated, so you must learn to be disciplined, to push yourself, because nobody else is going to do that for you. This is again one that I really did realize this year, especially with online school and quarantine and everything going on. I really did realize that if I want to achieve something and if I want to get something done, I have to do it myself. There are obviously going to be days where I'm not going to want to work. There are going to be days where I don't feel like pushing through and just getting an assignment or just uploading a video or filming something. And I really did realize that I just can't rely on motivation or just feeling motivated to get things done, because sometimes that feeling of motivation that you have, it doesn't come often. Like it comes every now and then. And I really did realize that success really does come from consistency, and if you just rely on those moments in your life where you just feel really motivated and inspired to do things, you're honestly never going to get anything done. The next one that I have is stop overthinking, because you're creating problems that aren't even there. And this one, I'm going to say this one more time for the people in the back: stop overthinking, because you create problems that aren't even there. Again, I am such an overthinker. Like, I will take a very small situation and I will just constantly try to replay it in my head over and over again. Like, I'll literally have like one of the most basic conversations with somebody, and then I'll keep replaying it back in my head, and then I'll be like, oh, I wish I said this differently, or I could have said that differently. And I just feel like it just creates so many issues that aren't there, and so many issues that don't need to be there. And I feel like from overthinking, it prevents you from honestly enjoying life and what it has to offer, because I feel like a lot of the scenarios that we create in our head from overthinking probably aren't going to happen and are probably never going to happen. So yeah, every morning you have a new opportunity to become a happier version of yourself, and I feel like that's one thing that's so beautiful about life and just living, to be honest, because it's called the present day, and I truly do believe that life is a gift from God, and I truly do believe that every single day is a chance for you to become a happier person and to become a better version of yourself, because today is all we have, tomorrow is not a promise, and the past is in the past. You can't go back and relive what happened yesterday, and I feel like that's what makes like the present so special, because it's a new day that you are able to use to, you know, better yourself and to just become a better individual. And I feel like just having that mindset just completely changes life in the way that you view it. And yeah, the next one, when I read this one, it hit hard. It really did. Doubts kill more dreams than failure ever will. And when I read this one, I need to take a moment of silence, because I'm like, dang, this is deep. That's really deep. Again, I doubt myself so much, and I doubt my potential so much, and I feel like especially with online school and just with YouTube in general, I've been doing that so much. I had English this semester and I constantly doubted myself. Like, I had a narrative software that I had to write where it was basically like this analysis where you like break down the entire book and you talk about like the symbolic meaning, and you just talk about like the really important points in that assignment. And the amount of times I doubted myself when I was doing that was crazy, because I redid that assignment three times. Like, that assignment was meant to be handed in like February, and I didn't hand it in till like March. And like, keep in mind, like, this isn't an assignment that's supposed to take you that long. Like, this is an assignment that's supposed to take you like a week at most. But I constantly kept doubting myself, and I'm like, no, it's not good enough. No, I didn't do it right. But then after when I finally handed it in, I got a really good mark. And the same thing with like all the essays that I kept writing this semester. I kept doubting myself so much, and I'm like, oh my goodness, like, this isn't going to be a good essay. Like, this is going to end up being horrible. And I wrote the essays, and first of all, they weren't even that hard to write. And second of all, I actually did really well in them. And I feel like just doubting yourself in general is probably one of the worst things you can do to yourself, because if you never try and you never put yourself out there, you'll always be left with that question like, what if I had done this, or what if I had tried this? And I feel like sometimes you just try, you know, just have some faith and believe in yourself. It's definitely something that is going to take a while to, like, it's definitely a skill that's going to take a while to like put into place and practice. But I feel like once you really do become comfortable with knowing that you can try things and fail, and not constantly be so doubtful of yourself and fear not being able to be successful, it really does open so many doors for you and allows you to really see your potential and what you really can achieve. The next one is, to change your life, you need to change your priorities. And this one, again, like, this one is one that I have definitely realized, because I constantly talk about all the things that I want to do, and I feel like my priorities don't align with what I want to do. Like, for instance, I want to be able to upload 3 times a week. I want to be able to study to get my learners. I want to be able to work really hard and get really good grades in school. But my priorities are not those things. Like, those are things that I want, but those aren't my priorities, because right now the things that I am prioritizing, or like the things that I've noticed I've been prioritizing in the past, are things like watching Netflix or watching YouTube videos or just scrolling through TikTok. And my priorities don't align with my goals, and that's why I've noticed it's been so hard for me to do well in school at times, and it's been so hard for me to be so consistent on YouTube and just upload videos, because what I prioritize is not equivalent to my goals. And I feel like when I finally did realize this, it really shifted my mindset, and it really allowed me to realize that, like, if my priorities and my goals aren't aligned, I'm not gonna get anything done. Okay, well, there's a blender going on in the back, and I can't really do anything about it, and I apologize about that. So we're just gonna keep filming. But the next thing that I've learned is, feed your mind with positive thoughts. And I cannot stress this enough, because you need to realize that the human mind is so sophisticated. The human mind is so complex. The human mind is so smart. Whatever you feed your brain, it will believe. Whatever you tell your brain, it will believe. If you wake up in the morning every single day and tell yourself that you are going to be successful, you're beautiful, and that you are a strong, hardworking individual, that is what your mind is going to believe, and your confidence will continue to grow. Not just your confidence, but the way you view life will continue to change. Well, it will change for the better. But if you wake up every single day and tell yourself that you are a failure, you are dumb, that you will never amount to anything, those are the things that you're going to begin to believe. And when I see people on Instagram, not just Instagram, but when I see people on social media, or specifically on TikTok, talking so badly about themselves, not necessarily in like a joking way, I mean like even like if it's in a joking way, that's different, but like when I just see people talk so poorly about themselves or of themselves, it really does upset me, because what you tell your mind, you will begin to believe. And again, I cannot stress this enough, that it is just so important to feed your mind with positive thoughts, because you will begin to see a very big difference in the mindset that you have, the way you view life, and the way you view yourself. See the positivity, not the problem. I feel like, again, this one really resonates with 2020. And when the whole pandemic and everything was going on, I was angry. Like, I'm like, graduation is canceled, my senior year is gone, prom, that's not happening anymore, I can't go out and visit my friends. Like, there was a point where I really had that mindset, but then I shifted it and I was like, hey, there are so many good things that could come out of this. Like, don't get me wrong, it sucks that all of these things that I was looking forward to are canceled, but now you're at home, you have more time to spend with your family, you have more time to film videos and work on your YouTube channel. You have more time to take care of yourself and just take more mental health days, especially with the fact that we had to transition from online school. They definitely did simplify the curriculum, which made it easier for me to get work done and also take time to myself. And also during this quarantine, I really have been able to just spend more time with God and just strengthen my faith. And I feel like if I had constantly just been looking at this pandemic as a thing that, as this like event in this situation that took everything from me, rather than viewing it as an opportunity for me to grow as an individual, I feel like it really would have ruined this experience. But I feel like by changing my mindset, it definitely changed the way that I viewed the pandemic and just everything that was going on in the world. So I highly recommend doing that. Always try to find the positive in every negative situation, because there's always something that you could be grateful for, and it could always be worse. So yeah, I feel like 2020 has really taught us that it could always be worse. Not everyone who is single is lonely, and not everyone who is in love, no, not everyone who is taken is in love. And when I heard this one again, I was like, dang, like that's deep. And I especially feel like being 18, well, the thing is, like, I've never been in a relationship before, and like I honestly don't mind it. I'm like cool with it. But I feel like, especially with social media, especially like TikTok and Instagram, I feel like social media just makes it out to seem that if you're not in a relationship, you're not living your best life, and if you're not in a relationship, you're not going to be happy. But the thing is that it's definitely not the case. And I feel like a lot of people feel like that, because when it comes to like relationships and stuff like that, people post obviously like the highlights of their relationship and like all the good things that happen. And I feel like when a lot of people see that who are single, it definitely makes them feel extremely lonely and extremely bad for themselves. And again, like at the end of the day, there's nothing wrong with posting that kind of stuff. Like honestly, like if I was in a relationship, I definitely want to post all those cute moments on social media. But I feel like a lot of people need to realize that like you don't always need to be in a relationship to be happy, and you can still be single and be happy. Because personally, I would rather be single and be surrounded around people that I love, like my friends and my family and people who support me, instead of being in a toxic relationship with somebody, or being in a relationship where I'm being mistreated and I'm just not being treated fairly. You only appreciate things when you no longer have them. Again, this one resonates so much, not just to 2020, but just in life in general. But I'm just gonna specifically relate it to 2020 because like it's like the most relevant and relatable thing right now. Cause like, if I'm not gonna lie, I was part of the, like, we all trash talk 2019. We're like, 2019 was like the worst year. Like, it was horrible. I didn't like it. But now looking back at it, I'm like, 2019 was actually kind of fire in comparison to 2020. Like, don't get me wrong, 2019 was never perfect, but it was definitely so much better than 2019. I could say, because just being able to like go to school and like see my friends and actually being able to like hug people and interact with people, not almost having to be home all the time, was definitely something that I took for granted, and it was definitely something that I didn't really appreciate. And I constantly saw myself and heard myself talk about how much I hated school and how much I didn't like going to school. But after having switched to online school and not being able to see people, I really did realize that like, dang, I don't hate school. Like, I don't actually hate school. I just like saying I hate school because everyone else says it. And I don't know, I feel like from like 2020, it really allowed us to realize that A, things could be so much worse, and B, it's the little things that really do matter. And it's just so important to just try your best to appreciate everything in life and try not to be so negative all the time. You are what you do, not what you say you'll do. And I'm definitely like a big believer of that. Your actions speak louder than your words. And at the end of the day, this is something that I've really been trying to work on. I've been trying my best to not constantly say what I'm going to do, but to just show people my results, because my results obviously speak volumes in comparison to what I have to say. Time is one of the most valuable gifts. I don't know what it is, but the concept of time is something that it continues to fascinate me, and it continues to blow my mind, because time is this thing that we've been given, and you can't have more time necessarily. Like, I'm talking about like in like a 24-hour day, like within 24 hours you can't be given more time. Like, what I'm trying to say is, like, if you look, like, when I talk about time, I'm talking about it from like the aspect of like 24 hours, because when you look at 24 hours, you can't be given more time in a day. You have 24 hours and that's it. And I feel like when you truly do understand how to manipulate time and how to use it to benefit you, I feel like you've honestly unlocked the secret to life, if I'm going to be completely honest. Because if you know how to manage your time, and if you know how to use your time to benefit you and actually help you become a very successful person and to just better you as a person, I feel like you can honestly accomplish anything when you learn how to manage your time, and when you learn that time is such a precious gift and it waits for nobody, to be honest. So it's either you're going to take advantage of it and use it to the best of your abilities, or you're just going to waste it. And this next one is, life is a journey, not a scavenger hunt or like a race. And I feel like a lot of the time, especially on social media, I even find myself comparing myself to like so many other just influencers and just people on social media. Like, you see people like my age, like 18, going out and buying houses and buying cars and like having all these big businesses. And don't get me wrong, like I'm really proud and happy for these people, but sometimes it makes me feel like, whoa, like what am I doing with my life? Where am I right now? And I feel like sometimes we all need to realize that like we're not all the same, and everyone's life is different and everyone's story is different, I guess you could say. I feel like everything happens to everyone at a different stage and at a different period of their life, and I feel like it's just important to try your best to not compare yourself and to not rush things, and just to allow life to just take its flow, or just take its course. This next one is, you can't change what's going on around you until you start changing what's going on within you. And again, this is one that I read, I'm like, yeah, that's so deep, and I definitely feel that. And I especially feel like if you are trying to better yourself and to just love yourself, especially like I want to kind of like relate this in like the realm of like healthcare. Like, if you want to start like taking care of yourself and just you want to just better yourself as an individual, I mean, you can do all the things. Like, you can go out and get your hair done, you can get your nails done, you know, you can exercise all you want, but I feel like if you don't have that mindset, and if you don't start with feeding yourself with like positive thoughts and just thinking not necessarily highly of yourself, but just not putting yourself constantly inside your head, I feel like regardless of what you do outside on your physical body and just your physical appearance, it won't really ever make a difference. So I feel like it's really important to make sure that when you are doing things that are wellness related, or just when you're just trying to like better your life and like turn your life around, it's extremely important to pay attention to what's happening externally, but also what's going on up here internally, because I feel like what goes on up here will affect everything else that goes on out here. You get what you work for, not what you wish for. And again, this is definitely something that I 100% believe, and sometimes I constantly find myself like drifting off or like daydreaming about a life that I want or something that I really want to achieve, and sometimes I really do forget that like hard work really does pay off. And nobody ever said that getting what you want is going to be easy, but I feel like that's what makes it so special and so rewarding, is because some people truly are willing to work hard and push through the tough times to get what they want, and there are some people who aren't willing to do that, and some people who just want to give up. And the last one is, it always seems impossible until it's done. This one relates again so much to like me being in school. There were so many essays, so many assignments that I had to get done, specifically in English, that I thought were extremely hard. And I kept putting them off because I'm like, no, this is going to take me so long, this is going to be extremely hard to do. And like when I did them, they honestly weren't that hard, to be honest. Like, I remember there was this essay that I was putting off for months. Like, it was like 2 months overdue, to be honest. And I kept putting it off. And then I'm like, okay, like I finally have to do it because like, you know, school's almost done. It took me 2 days to write that essay. An essay that I've been putting off for 2 months took me 2 days to write. And I'm just sitting there thinking about like, first of all, you were overthinking. Second of all, you were doubting yourself. And third of all, like, I feel like in our heads, sometimes we work things up to appear a lot harder than they actually are until you get them done. So yeah, that's definitely something that I learned, and hopefully a mindset that I can continue to carry out throughout the rest of my life. So those are all the tips and the pieces of advice that I wanted to give you guys if you made it this far into the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll have all my socials linked down below if you want to follow me, if you want to chat, if you want to talk. Also, if you liked anything about this video or any future videos you would like to see, please feel free to leave a comment of them down below. Don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up, and also subscribe if you like my videos and if you want to see more of my face, and also click the bell to turn on post notifications. And I'll see you guys again next time. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!